Alright, hey guys, remember CCG back in the video. In this video, I'm going over my Chimera deck profile. So this is post Age of Overlord, so let's get started. So here I run 3 copies of Cashier Fenrir. Fenrir is just a solid addition, it's really good right now, so I'm running 3 copies of it. 2 copies of Baphomet. Baphomet's amazing as it's able to search out 2 cards upon summon, and not only that, but when this card is sent to the graveyard as material, you can bring an illusion monster in your grave and bring it back out onto the board. I only run 2 copies though because it is a level 5. So you do need a way to get it into the grave or summon it out, usually by using Mirror Swordsman. Of course, Mirror Sword Knight here is really great. You definitely want to run 3 copies of it as it's able to tribute, go into a 1-card combo using this card, and when it's in the grave, when a monster your opponent controls activates effect, but you control the Chimera, the Flying Mythical Beast, you can banish this card from the field or grave, negate that effect, so it's just another great monster negate that's in the grave, so you don't have to worry about it, just don't forget about it. Then I run through 2 copies of Fallen Valbaz. Fallen Valbaz just enables a lot of the deck, and it's what makes the branded engine work. So of course you just need the 2 copies. 1 copy of Springen's Kit. This card is nice because when you're able to special summon it out, if you have a fusion monster out on the board that mentions Fallen Valbaz, you can bring this card out, then use it to add to your hand one of your branded spell or traps. So that's great because you can use this to get like branded and white, continue a branded play, assuming you've used branded fusion first. And not only that, but it's actually searchable using Baphomet, the big wing Baphomet here. And then I run 3 copies of Gazelle, the King of Mythical Claws. This card's also insane just because upon summon, it's able to add a level 5 Fiend monster or 1 Chimera fusion from your deck to your hand. And if this card is sent to the graveyard as material for fusion summon, you can add 1 illusion monster from your deck to your hand. So just a lot of value that it provides, so you definitely want to see 3 copies of it. 2 copies of Edgem Chain. This is the fusion deck, and seeing polymerization and Fight for Patchwork just increases the overall consistency of the deck, so I like running 2 copies of it. Then here we run 2 copies of Deity Orthros, so this card is actually going to be your way of locking your opponent out of summoning their monsters, except for Fiend monsters, and you're going to see that in the combos video, but you definitely want the 1 copy if you're trying to do the lock using the new fusion monster. Then we run 3 copies of Cornfield Kodo. This card is just a great way of going into your Mirror Swordsman while also providing a bit of protection in the grave. So you want to see 3 copies of it. It just works really well, and it extends your 1 card play just because it makes it a lot more likely for it to happen. Then 3 copies of Ash Blossom as the hand trap of choice, 2 copies of Duel because it's really good right now, 2 copies of Valor because that is going to be your way of summoning out Albion the Sanctifier Dragon, and that is what you need to actually put in the lock. So you definitely want to run 2 copies of Effect Valor or any light spellcaster. If you don't want to run Effect Valor, it's just that it's a hand trap so you can use it, and that's always good to see. 2 copies of Poly because it's a fusion deck and polymerization is still really good. 2 copies of Fight for Patchwork. It's going to be your search, you're going to be able to search out the polymerization and Edgem Chain. So it's just a great way of getting a lot of value using 1 card. 1 copy in Branded and White. It's going to give you a way to extend your fusion plays even after you use Branded Fusion here. And Branded Fusion, 3 copies of it, of course. It's an amazing card. Just lets you fusion summon from your deck. So makes it really easy to do a 1-card combo play using Branded Fusion. Then 1 copy of Called by the Grave, hand traps. 2 copies of Super Polymerization. You have a good amount of targets that you can use using this card. You can even lean in more on Super Polymerization, maybe make it 3 copies, and then run more cards more targets for your deck. But that's solely up to you. And then 2 copies of Chimera Fusion. This is an amazing fusion card. It just gives you a lot of consistency. You're able to add it back to your hand. You're able to banish it, special summon a Gazelle, King of Mythical Beast, and 1 Baphomet from your deck and our grave. A lot of value this card provides, and really, I think you only need the 2 copies just because it is pretty searchable with Baphomet. You don't really need the 3rd copy in my opinion, and you're also able to add it back to your hand pretty easily, so I just like running the 2 copies. I run 2 copies of Guardian Chimera. This card's really good because you do have a lot of ways to go into it using something like Chimera Fusion, Polymerization. Chimera Fusion is even better because it gives you a way to actually play during your opponent's turn. You can pop this out, Guardian Chimera, pop a bunch of cards, draw a bunch of cards, and you definitely want to get out a monster like this. So it's definitely gonna be one of your go-to boss monsters for the deck. Then we have 1 copy of Chimera the Illusion Beast. This card's fun to get out when you do have the ability to do so. It's a great OTK card. You're gonna be able to attack a lot and basically force your opponent to keep their monster 0 attack and then keep hitting into it. So it's a great beater that just makes for a pretty cool way to finish your opponent. 1 copy of Albion the Sanctifier Dragon. This is going to be your way of actually enabling the lock. We're going to be summoning this monster out, and in doing so during our opponent's turn, we can actually target 2 monsters in any graveyard, special summon both monsters, 1 to each field. So definitely your Orthros is going to be the monster you put on your opponent's side of the field, and that's going to lock them into summoning monsters into summoning fiend monsters. So of course it's pretty much not going to let them play anything. So it's a great lock, and in order to do it, you need Albion the Sanctifier Dragon, 2 copies of Mirror Jade the Iceblade Dragon. This card is just a really powerful boss monster, so of course you want to get this out. 1 copy of Magnum the Reliever is just a great monster, definitely pretty easy to get out, and because you run Polymerization, you're going to be able to draw a card and also pop something on the board, so it's just a good card overall. 1 copy of Lebellion the Searing Dragon. They're just going to give you the ability to extend your fusion plays. 1 copy of Renbrum the Striking Dragon. This is a good card for doing a 1-card combo, as you can use something like Branded Fusion, get this card out by using Fallen Malbas and any Beast, Beast Warrior, or Winged Beast. So you can send something like Gazelle the King of Mythical Claws, and then use him here to add yourself an Illusion Monster. So of course you can add yourself your Mirror Swordsman here, or Mirror Sword Knight, and then from there you can do the 1-card combo using Mirror Sword Knight. So it's just a great way that links the deck all together, and you need this card in order to do that. And he's also a Fusion, Synchro, Exceed, or Link Monster Negate, so that's pretty nice if you're able to pull it off. Albion, a great way of just extending your fusion plays overall, and also getting a little branded card if you're able to do so. And then I run 1 copy of Baphomet the Mythical King of Phantom Beast. This card is going to be able to pitch one of your Beast, Fiend, or Illusion monsters from your deck to your grave. So that's great because you can do something like DD Orthros here that I'm going to show you guys in the combos video, establish a lock, or as you're going to see in the side deck, it's a great way of searching out Mercury, but it's just a lot of potential that we see in this card, and definitely a lot of things that you can play around with. But the 2 combos that I'm going to show you are just going to give you an idea of what you can do. I run 2 copies of Chimera the King of Phantom Beast. It's going to make your opponent essentially discard a card, and not only that, but you can get something out using this. So it's pretty great when it's in the grave. And then 2 Super Poly targets here in the form of Garura and Mud Dragon. So you can definitely add the 3rd copy of Super Polymerization if you want to focus on that, and then add like the Predaplant Fusion monster in case you want another target for your Super Poly. And for the side deck here, you're going to see these cards in the combos video. Tri-Brigade Mercury is great because it is a monster negate. As long as you control a Fallen of Albaz fusion monster, then you can use this card, send this card from your hand or face of field to the grave, negate an effect. You're going to see that in the combos, and it is searchable using something like Nerval and Kit. So you're going to see that again in the combos video. That's going to work with the fusion monster. And then Brigran the Glory Dragon. As you saw in my previous deck profile, I did run this card, and the reason for that is that it gave you a way to search out Mercury, so it's definitely worth considering in case you do want a way to get this card out and have another card to play during your opponent's turn. But I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe if you did, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching.